They ask the right questions, diagnose illness, and design treatment plans to make sick people well. Physicians. Whether you're thinking of being a family doctor or a general practitioner, or you have your heart set on being a specialist like a surgeon, you should be prepared to be in college followed by medical school for more than a decade.
It took an interesting turn. I took a chemistry curriculum, but I got a BA in chemistry instead of a BS, which allowed me a lot more liberal arts kind of courses. So I got a little bit a taste of both worlds, and was able to get enough of the actual basic sciences in, and still enjoy undergrad.
I started off as a physics major, and then I transferred to Columbia and went into biology, so that became my degree. After I got my degree at Columbia, I decided to do a master's program and do a little bit of research in between. So I was able to do biomedical sciences for my master's and do some research, and then went to medical school.
And when you finally earn your MD, your Doctor of Medicine degree, or DO, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree, you'll enter a career where you work long hours, possibly more than 60 hours per week. So, how should you prepare?
I think you have to take challenging courses in high school. I don't think it necessarily has to be the sciences, but if you are going to end up having to take the sciences in undergrad, you need some background. It's going to be hard to do, Biology 101 if you haven't at least been exposed to some science classes.
Definitely want to gear towards the chemistry classes, the biology classes, and anything related to anatomy is always helpful.
While you're in high school, you'll need to take courses like calculus, English, biology, chemistry, physics, and organic chemistry. Those courses will prepare you for the pre-med curriculum you'll take as an undergraduate.
4 years of medical school, and then thereafter it is 3 years of residency minimum. Some residencies, I did a family practice residency. Some residencies like surgery may take 5 years. Some residencies like plastic surgery, 7.
I have 3 more years in residency. It's a 4-year program.
The 125 accredited U.S. medical schools, 7 of them in Ohio, are highly competitive and expensive. There are many financial aid options, including scholarships and federally funded loans.
And then they would interview you, usually face-to-face interview, and depending on how you did in the interview, you might just get in.
You'll spend your first 2 years of medical school in labs in the classroom, where you'll learn how to examine patients and how to determine what the patient's problem is. Then it's on to rotations. This is 2 years of time in hospitals working with patients and doctors, rotating through various specialties to experience many fields and see what area of medicine you're really interested in practicing, followed by a period of internship and residency.
You also need to get your license, of course.
So how much money do doctors make?
We're having graduates who are coming out with, some of them as much as $500,000 in debt. And I think they find it very difficult unless they get into one of these high-powered fields where they can make a good deal of money for each thing they do. I mean, it just stands to reason a neurosurgeon who does a craniotomy probably ought to get paid for that.
In 2008, general practitioners had a median income of about $186,000, while specialists were paid around $340,000. It all depends on how long people are doctors, where they live, how many hours they work, and really how good they are as doctors.
If you're a 9-to-5 person who wants to see patients, wants to be on call as little as possible, being part of a big group can afford you that. The problem with that is that my belief is they tend to see you as just another commodity, and you're replaceable. And from what I've seen, people have been replaced. So you're always constantly trying to prove your worth. You have to negotiate your salary at least every 3 years or so. So there are pluses and minuses.
I chose emergency medicine because I have two little boys right now. I have a husband at home, and for me, I get the excitement from the emergency room as well as loving the schedule. It's shift work, and I go home and I don't have a pager.
In 2008, there were about 660,000 medical doctors in the United States, most working as partners or in groups.
I thought that being a physician would be a very a useful kind of profession.
That's what we're taught in medical school, that that we should be compassionate, that we need to spend time with the patients, that we need to, be a caring physician. And that's why we went to medical school, because we wanted to do that. And I just hope that it continues to be like that, and we're not pressured to be something different because of time constraints or because, we have to see this many patients in a day.